Do you ever have those days when you're just feeling down? Maybe you feel like you don't want to get out of bed or you don't want to leave the house. You're just like, what's the use of even trying? Most of us know those sad, dark, empty days. It's part of life. Don't make yourself evil for having had them. In Luke 24:13, the disciples are on the road to Emmaus and they're having one of those dark days. Christ has been crucified, and now they're trying to figure out what's going on, and so they're depressed. Now, did that make them bad disciples? No, that made them people. That made them human. That's what we all go through, and if you do condemn yourself for feeling bad, then you're just adding more trouble on top of it. This is what we do. We go through wonderful times and we go through not so wonderful times. It's just kind of like there's cycles there. And I know different people have it, different ways they do it. Some people have a lot of challenges, and some of those challenges last a long time. In fact, some of them can last an entire lifetime. And then other people seem to hit the high spots more often. They're more joyful, they're happier, and they're up there. They have their valleys, everybody does, but it doesn't seem to be as frequent, and that may be a correct observation. I don't know what to say about that other than your life is your life. And if you've got one that's taking you through the valley of the shadow of death more often, learn, grow, do the best you can. And when you do come out the other side and enjoy some sunshine, squeeze it out for all it's worth. Live it, love it, because it's going to pass. Everything eventually passes. I like to use the roller coaster analogy. Of course, I'm one of those people that like roller coasters. And so the idea of a roller coaster just really works in my way of thinking. You have the scary parts, you have the fun parts. Everything is just quite delightful and exhilarating and exciting, even though sometimes, it will scare the fool out of you. But in a philosophical sense, that's part of the fun. Why do we go to movies that scare us? Now, I know we all don't, but there's a thing about being scared that's kind of fun. The hard parts have an odd bitter sweetness about them. Try to find that sweetness. Now, let me go back to this idea that it will pass. Job went through some horrendous stuff. Can't even imagine. There's nothing in my life that even begins to compare to a single day of Job's life. I feel like guilty about ever being depressed when I think about Job. But the point I want to make is that it all passed. Wherever you're at, count on it. Write it down right now. Write down your emotional mood. Whether you're elated or you're in a dark place, write it down. It will pass. That's the way life works. Now, it may be that you have clinical depression and you need some other assistance, but that's another thing. I'm talking about those of us who do not have those medical issues, and it's going to pass. If you're having a great, happy day, it's going to pass. If you're having a mediocre day, okay, it's going to pass. Just stay on the roller coaster of life. Just keep riding it out. And even though it may be protracted and long, like Job's was quite long and really tough, it passed. And when you get to the end of the book, everything turned out okay. Now, Job couldn't see that when he was in the middle of it. Remember, chapter 3, Job is kind of whining and wishing he had never been born. He is really depressed. By the time you get to the end of the book, it's all good. It's all great. So, Romans 12:15, he says, we weep with those who weep, we rejoice with those who rejoice. Going through tough times is just part of life's process. We all have our days where we're feeling down, or maybe a week or a month or longer, depending on what we're dealing with. That's okay. That does not make you a bad person or make you a bad Christian. This is what we humans do. And if you'll look at our Bible heroes, you will find that every one of them had their up days and their down days, their shining days and not so shining days. That's kind of the way life works. You're just human. Enjoy it. So there's a little bit to think about. Put your comments below if you'd like, and as always, have a great day.